Do I need to call you the female version of Steph Curry, or do I need to call Steph Curry the male version of Caitlin Clark?
Somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine.
Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark continues generating headlines beyond basketball, with recent comments about golf and potential basketball competitions drawing significant attention from professional athletes and fans alike. Her upcoming matchup against Connecticut Sun creates anticipation for another strong performance following her recent return from injury. Clark's basketball style has drawn comparisons to legendary players, blending elements reminiscent of Larry Bird's court vision and Steph Curry's shooting range, combined with Michael Jordan's marketing appeal. Her recent 32-point, 8-rebound, 9-assist performance demonstrated statistical achievements similar to those legendary players throughout their careers. Clark's defensive capabilities also mirror Bird's versatility, as she consistently blocks shots despite playing guard position.
I think I'll just be the female version of Steph Curry.
I mean, you hear people talking about you and throwing out those comparisons. Speak about how that makes you feel, about how you've just taken the world by storm because of your shooting prowess.
Yeah, I really feel like I'm still kind of in a dream, in a real world. I mean, it's kind of crazy, obviously. Those are the players I kind of grew up watching. Obviously, Steph Curry's kind of changed the game, and he's a player I grew up loving. I still love. I watch him all the time. So it's kind of crazy seeing all those NBA players, WNBA players tweet about you, talk about you, but you know, I still enjoy every single second of it.
During the U.S. Open weekend at Oakmont Country Club, Clark made waves with social media commentary about the challenging course conditions. The tournament faced weather-related delays due to extremely difficult playing conditions, prompting Clark to share her perspective with her 530,000 social media followers.
This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along, and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year. Outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Then won a national championship. Lost to LSU one year. Lost to South Carolina another year. But she's outstanding and clearly worthy of being the #1 overall pick. And what I was saying to everybody is ride the wave. Rising tide lifts all boats. She's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who draws this attention.
Clark posted a humorous observation about Oakmont's difficulty level, stating she would likely shoot 130 on the notoriously challenging course and questioning whether playing there would even be enjoyable. Her playful commentary resonated widely, generating over 2.4 million views and 20 PGA Tour professional Michael Kim, who competed in the tournament, responded directly to Clark's comment with confirmation that Oakmont provided no entertainment value for players. Kim's experience supported Clark's assessment. He finished tied for 50th place, shooting 14 over par during the 4-round tournament. The 31-year-old professional struggles exemplified the course's reputation for punishing even skilled golfers.
If you paid attention to the channel, I call Caitlin Clark what? The hybrid love child of Larry Bird and Steph Curry with the branding of Jordan. All right. And I feel that way. I think that performance on Saturday, very reminiscent of stat lines from both Steph Curry and or Larry Bird. All right. I saw Larry Bird have a lot of 32s, 9s, and 8s, and it's just the way it went down.
Oakmont's reputation as one of golf's most demanding venues was evident throughout the tournament. During the opening rounds, leaders posted scores around 3 under par, with very few players achieving double-digit under par totals. The U.S. Open traditionally presents the year's most challenging playing conditions, combining difficult rough areas with demanding course design.
Larry also got them blocks. Caitlin blocks shots in this league. She does. Before we jump straight into what she said, she also made some other comments that has garnered the attention of pro golf. Let's take a look at this. PGA Tour Pro emphatically answers Caitlin Clark's open question. Of course, the U.S. Open was over the weekend. Caitlin Clark, massive golf fan. She loves to play. She played in the Pro-Am last year, and that garnered a ton of attention. Well, her comment garnered a ton of attention.
Clark's golf interest extends beyond casual observation. She actively participates in professional golf events, having played in a Pro-Am tournament during the previous year. Her appearance at the LPGA Tour's Annika-driven event, hosted by legendary golfer Annika Sorenstam, showcased her genuine enthusiasm for the sport. While basketball remains her primary focus, Clark's golf participation demonstrates her athletic versatility and connection to different sports communities,
including a PGA winner literally answering her comment here. Now, Oakmont, I can tell you right now, my God, it was, especially the first couple of 3 days. Oh, that is one tough ass course. It is the roughs. It's, I mean, at one point I checked in yesterday. The leader had a -3. All right, and not a lot of -12s in that. The U.S. Open is always known to be rough, boy, and not literally the rough and a rough play. So let's check this out. All right, so during the weather-related suspension because of tough playing conditions at Oakmont,
recent interviews revealed Clark's thoughts about potential shooting competitions with NBA superstar Steph Curry. Her shooting ability has drawn frequent comparisons to Curry due to her exceptional three-point range and ability to attempt shots from well beyond the standard three-point line. Both players possess the capability to stretch opposing defenses with their willingness to shoot from extraordinary distances. Clark's recent performance against New York Liberty highlighted her shooting prowess, connecting on 7 of 14 three-point attempts while dazzling spectators and fellow athletes, including NBA star LeBron James. Her shooting technique and range have established her as one of the WNBA's most explosive offensive threats, capable of single-handedly changing game dynamics through long-range shooting.
Clark took to her X, which has 530,000 followers, to give her take about the course. She said, quote, "Is Oakmont even fun to play? I'd shoot 130 easily." Her playful commentary received over 2.4 million views. Wow. I knew it had to be a bunch because she's got 25,000 likes on this thing, including one from PGA Tour winner Michael Kim.
When asked about potential shooting competitions with Curry, Clark displayed characteristic humility, acknowledging Curry would likely prevail while expressing excitement about participating in such an event. Her modest response reflected respect for Curry's established reputation as one of basketball's greatest shooters. The conversation extended to comparisons with other NBA players, including discussions about competing against LeBron James in three-point shooting contests. While James possesses solid three-point shooting ability, he differs from specialists like Curry, Sabrina Ionescu, or historically great shooters including Larry Bird, Reggie Miller, Chris Mullin, Dan Majerle, and Klay Thompson,
who happened to be among those who played 4 rounds at Oakmont this weekend. He answered, quote, "I promise you, it's not fun." There's no doubt that Oakmont didn't give Kim much leeway. 31-year-old tied for 50th place, shooting 14 over par. It's not a coincidence that Caitlin Clark was following the U.S. Open, as her connection with golf is widely known. While she's not trading her sneakers for spikes anytime soon,
these shooting specialists represent a distinct category of players who built careers around exceptional long-range accuracy. Clark's shooting ability places her within this elite group, suggesting she could compete effectively against various NBA players in specialized shooting competitions. The upcoming WNBA All-Star break in Indianapolis creates opportunities for unique exhibitions and competitions. Previous collaborations between WNBA and NBA players, such as the shooting contest between Ionescu and Curry, established precedent for cross-league competitions that generate significant viewer interest.
Clark's participation in golf's event has showcased her enthusiasm for the sport. Last year, Clark played in the Pro-Am. Of course, that was the LPGA Tour's the Annika Drive, and that's hosted, of course, by Annika Sorenstam. So, you know, and she's one of the greatest women's golfers ever. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
Clark's potential participation in three-point shooting contests could create unprecedented television ratings, potentially exceeding viewership for traditional NBA shooting and slam dunk competitions. Current NBA All-Star events have experienced declining interest, partly due to reduced participation from major stars. The slam dunk contest particularly struggles with relevance, having transformed from must-see entertainment into relatively mundane programming. Historical slam dunk competitions featured legendary performers like Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins, creating memorable moments that modern competitions rarely match.
So, potential shootout with Steph Curry. It's something we wonder if we're going to be able to see during the All-Star break. Of course, Sabrina Ionescu, Steph Curry already had a shootout. So let's see what she's got to say. Caitlin Clark recently returned from a quad injury and in an all-important clash.
Clark's injury recovery timeline may influence her availability for All-Star festivities. However, the combination of her shooting ability, Indianapolis location, and potential ratings impact makes her participation highly desirable for league commissioners seeking to maximize viewer engagement. Professional basketball leadership, including NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, likely recognizes the marketing value of featuring Clark in all-star competitions. Her ability to generate television viewership could benefit both leagues, while creating unique entertainment opportunities for basketball fans.
22 feet. It is 22 feet out, and all of her shots were way beyond 22 feet. She's ready to pull up at a blink of an eye, all right? So Natasha Cloud coming out and saying that, it really makes a lot of sense. And honestly, when you have to guard her at 26, 27, 30, like when you have to guard her way out there, that opens up that court so much, man. It just discombobulates the defense, breaks it down entirely, gives so much space for the big to work down there. That's why I say if Aaliyah Boston gets comfortable at that nail, woo-wee, all they have to do is run a quick screen, run down, dump it to her, and she pull up right there at the nail. Man, that's plenty buckets.
The intersection of Clark's golf commentary and basketball shooting discussions demonstrates her broad appeal across multiple sports audiences, reinforcing her status as one of professional sports' most marketable and engaging personalities. Current discussion centers around two significant topics within women's professional basketball. The first involves Natasha Cloud's assessment of defensive challenges when facing Caitlin Clark, while the second addresses apparent inconsistencies in statistical reporting and leaderboard presentations. Natasha Cloud recently provided insight into the most difficult aspect of defending against Caitlin Clark during gameplay. According to Cloud's analysis, the primary challenge emerges immediately when Clark crosses the half-court line, as she possesses the capability to attempt shots from that distance. This observation aligns with previous discussions about Clark's exceptional shooting range extending to 30 feet and beyond. Her shooting statistics demonstrate remarkable consistency, with attempts regularly occurring at distances of 27, 31, 26, 33, and similar ranges during recent games against the Liberty. The standard three-point line measures 22 feet from the basket, yet Clark consistently attempts shots well beyond this marker. Her recent game performance included attempts from 33, 27, 31, 26, 31, 27, and 26 feet respectively, showcasing her willingness to shoot from extraordinary distances. This extended shooting range creates significant defensive complications. When defenders must guard Clark at 26, 27, or 30 feet from the basket, it fundamentally alters court spacing and defensive scheme. The extended defensive coverage disrupts traditional defensive structures, creating substantial interior space for teammates to operate effectively. The strategic implications extend to players like Aaliyah Boston, who benefits from the additional space created in the paint area. With defenders pulled out to contest Clark's extended range, interior players gain enhanced opportunities for post-up situations and quick scoring chances near the basket. Cloud's defensive expertise and reputation as one of the league's premier defenders lends credibility to her assessment. Her experience with the New York Liberty provides additional context, as that organization features considerable talent and defensive capability throughout their roster. Current statistical presentations across major sports platforms reveal apparent inconsistencies regarding player rankings and recognition. Caitlin Clark's statistical performance shows averages of 21.6 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block per game, alongside 5 turnovers. Her shooting percentages include 43% from the field, 36% from three-point range, and 72% from the free throw line.
Plenty buckets, man. So, yeah, I just feel like her doing this makes the Indiana Fever that much more dangerous, man. Just beautiful work. But let's get into a little bit of the second thing that I want to talk about, okay? Actually, hold on. Let's see what some people were saying. When I first came to the WNBA, besides CeCe, one of the first players that stood out to me as Natasha Cloud, I guess was Natasha Cloud, along with Courtney Williams. I just made a video on her, too. I like them both.
Despite these impressive numbers, her placement on various leaderboards appears inconsistent across different statistical categories. While she appears prominently in three-point shots made rankings, her presence in other statistical categories seems less consistent with her actual performance levels. The assists category presents a particularly notable example. Clark's 9 assists per game average should position her prominently in league leadership discussions, yet her placement on official leaderboards doesn't consistently reflect this statistical reality. Other players with fewer assists per game appear more prominently positioned in some statistical presentations. Similar discrepancies appear in points per game rankings, where Clark's 21.6 average should place her among the top scorers in the league. However, various statistical platforms don't consistently reflect this positioning in their leadership displays. The inconsistency becomes more apparent when comparing different statistical categories. While some platforms include Clark in certain rankings like three-point shots made, they simultaneously exclude her from other categories where her performance merits inclusion. Games played requirements sometimes explain statistical exclusions, as players must meet minimum game thresholds for official recognition. However, the selective application of these requirements across different statistical categories raises questions about consistency in reporting standards. Players like Jonquel Jones, who have missed games due to various circumstances, still appear on certain leaderboards, suggesting that games played requirements aren't uniformly applied across all statistical categories. ESPN's statistical presentations show similar patterns, with Clark's absence from certain leaderboards despite statistical performance that would warrant inclusion. The complete leaders sections of major statistical platforms sometimes fail to include players whose numbers suggest they should be prominently featured. Official WNBA statistical presentations also demonstrate these inconsistencies. Players with statistically inferior performance in certain categories appear more prominently than those with superior numbers, suggesting potential issues with automated statistical compilation or presentation criteria. The comparison between Clark and other players reveals these discrepancies most clearly. When examining players with similar or lower statistical outputs who appear more prominently in official rankings, the inconsistency becomes apparent. Shooting efficiency comparisons show that while some players maintain better shooting percentages, the overall statistical impact and volume of Clark's production should result in more consistent recognition across statistical platforms.